Today we're going to be doing another makeup reads video. Trust me, I know it's been like more than half a year since we did this. I wanted to name it something else. I don't like the name makeup reads just because it's not really what it is. Makeup critiques, critique your makeup, something like that maybe. I don't know. I loved this idea. I loved the video that we did. Everyone else seemed to love it too. So I want to bring it back this year in full force, at least 2 a month. And they're going to be more than just one person like they were last time. I went back in time, went back to my emails from June of last year, early June. I'm so sorry that it's taken me this long to do this. It will never take this long again. Last year was a difficult year for me and I'm out of that funk. Now, if you weren't here for the last makeup reads video, basically I asked you guys to send me your problems that you have with makeup. So the idea here isn't for me to go, this is what you should change, that's what you should change, you shouldn't do your makeup like that. Not at all. I want you guys to tell me, I'm having trouble with this particular area of my face, or I can't get this to work. How can I fix it? And that's what we're going to be focusing on. This is a totally positive, constructive criticism. The whole idea here is to be really helpful, not to tear anybody down. So if you're going to leave comments, last time you guys were absolutely amazing. So many cool comments were left. You guys were so helpful. And I will link to that below, so if you haven't seen the first makeup reads video, you can check it out because there was so much good advice, and that's what I want. I want us to be a super helpful community, xSparkage fam, awesomeness, and I love you guys so much for that. So let's get started. So this first girl is named Joanna, and she is so stunning. Holy moly, it's beautiful. Joanna says, one of the concerns that I have is sort of hooded lids. I have to be super careful about what colors I apply on my lids because it can easily make my eyes look really small and the lids kind of disappear. And while it looks okay with my eyes closed or almost closed, which is why my eyes are always half closed in my makeup pics, in real life when my eyes are open it looks sort of weird. So it sounds like your issue is that when your eyes are half open or when they're closed you can see your lid work, and then when you open your eyes that area sort of goes away. So I don't really think your eyes are hooded. When I think of hooded eyes, I think of my husband or my daughter, where you basically have no lid space at all. I think a lot of the times on YouTube, people get a little bit confused at what hooded eyes actually are. So with you, your eye shape actually really reminds me of my friend Lauren. She's also known as Queen of Blending. She has a ton of lid space, just like you, but she also has a lower crease area, just like you. What I would recommend doing is actually just faking your crease. You're amazing at makeup, just letting you know, this is flawless, it's amazing. What I recommend doing, because I see you said with this look, this brown look with the yellow in the inner corners, that it kind of disappears. So I can see what you mean because you just see a tiny bit of it when you're looking forward. You actually could just bring that up higher. So bring it up, kind of make your own crease essentially. Do the liner all the way up to where your eye creases and then put the rest up higher. You have enough lid space. There's a ton of room between your eyebrow and your actual eye, so you have a lot of room to play with, so you can actually just fake it till you make it. Bring that color higher, bring it out on the inner crease area and the outer crease, and just change it up so that you can see it more when your eyes are open. That would be my main advice for you. The next one I wanted to talk about. So this is from Bria. And Bria says, hello Leisha. No matter what I do, all face makeup accentuates my texture and pores, especially highlighters. I also have heavy under eye bags. I'm anemic and also a mom of 2, so I don't get much sleep as I should. Powder makes me appear to have more fine lines than I actually do, causing me to look older than I am. Please share any tricks you have with me or anyone else who struggles with these issues. So the first thing that I would say is it does look like you have some texture on your skin. A lot of the times with this is it's more about stripping the makeup away and looking at how you take care of your skin and what your skincare routine is like. Do you regularly exfoliate your skin? Do you do moisturizing masks? Do you make sure that you apply moisturizer before you apply your primer and then your foundation? A lot of these things can cause texture to show through more than you want it to. Some areas it does look like your makeup caked up a little bit. Something that I would look into is if your primer and your foundation actually work well together, because sometimes, let's say you're using something like Smashbox Photo Finish, which is a silicone-based primer, and then you're using something like Makeup Forever has one where it's a water-based primer, or a water-based foundation rather. Those two together are going to be like oil and water, like a salad dressing that just does not mix. You have to make sure that your primer and your foundation are going to live happily ever after in perfect harmony. So a lot of the times that can be an issue, and then if you're putting powder and setting it on top of it, it's just going to cause it to separate, just like salad dressing. I don't know, salad dressing is the first thing I think of with oil and water. The one thing I would recommend for your under eye area, you're saying that even correctors are not covering them. I'm wondering if you're not using something with enough coverage. If you try Dermablend, for example, is really high coverage. That might help. One of my favorite things for the creasing aspect that you were concerned about, Smashbox has an under eye primer, and it works really, really well. It really helps. I got like an eyelash or a hair that's stuck to my eyelash. This primer helps to really smooth out that area, and it makes it a lot easier for your concealers and correctors to stick and to not kind of crease, because I mean, I get the same kind of creasing that you're talking about. The other thing I would try is to use an eye cream during the night, especially because from your pictures it looks almost like your under eye area is a little sunken in and it looks dry. So using a primer or an eye cream, I don't know why I keep saying primer, an eye cream at night could really help that to smooth it out and to just give it some fullness. So my suggestions would be to make sure you're doing a really nice exfoliating routine and to use a really good moisturizer, even if you think your skin is oily, especially at night. Just drench your face. I use a Murad one at night and it's super thick and my face is super sticky, but I don't care because I'm like, oh, just soak it in. So I would recommend doing that. Make sure that your primer and your foundation are actually compatible, and try out that primer from Smashbox, the under eye primer. Tell me if it works. The last one we're going to do today is from Kat, and she is from Portugal. Kat says, I really like my overall makeup, and I don't always use foundation all over my face, but when I go full glam, every foundation I have always creases on my smile lines and chin, leaving me looking older. Any help would be appreciated. Also, what do you think of my brows? Do they look too dark or too big? Your brows look awesome, I'm gonna say. And I totally understand what you're talking about with your foundation creasing, because it happens to me too. I have this, like right here, there's just this smile line that the same thing happens to me. What I will do if I'm trying really hard to make that not happen, I do a couple of things. The first is I will use a eyeshadow primer on those areas. So I actually will take my Urban Decay Primer Potion, or any of them really, and just pat a little bit right on the areas that I want to try and prevent from creasing. Let that set, then apply my foundation, and then set it with powder relatively quickly and make sure to wipe it away, just to try and give it something to hold on to. I find that the eye primer does really help to make sure that it stops from creasing so much. In these areas, it almost looks a little bit like it's really dry on your skin. Adding a primer oil or a beauty oil in general, Smashbox makes one, just any Farsali, something like that, where it's a beauty oil. You can add it to your makeup brush, you can add it to a beauty blender, just something, because that can end up giving a little bit more life to your foundation, giving it a little bit of movability, because a lot of the times when our foundation can sink into the skin like that and kind of crack, it's because your skin is too dry. So I would try something like that. Even just if you have a setting spray that has moisture in it, that can help too. Any of you guys have suggestions, advice for any of our ladies today, please leave comments below. I know they'll appreciate it. I'll appreciate it. I don't know everything, and I don't claim to in any way, shape, or form, but having an entire community of people who are helping each other out is so important, especially this day and age in YouTube when things just sometimes get a little bleak. So I really appreciate all of your guys' advice, everything that you're giving. If you would like to be a part of the next makeup reads, feel free to send me an email. Make sure you include what your concerns are, what you would like advice on, as well as pictures of your makeup, close-ups, or looks at anything that is bothering you. Love you guys so much. Thank you so much for always being amazing, and I'll see you next time.